Procrastinators, where are you at? Funny thing is, if you're watching this right now, you may be waiting for the last minute to do something. Welcome to the club, because that's what I've known my whole life. Even back in school, I would be procrastinating all the time. I would have an essay due that's maybe 10 pages that we had 3 months to do, and I would do it 3 hours before it's due. This is the life that I live. The crazy thing about procrastinators is we can perform miracles. Yeah, I'm not saying the essay that I did 3 hours before it was due when we had 3 months to do it is going to be A plus, but I did it. I didn't fail. I probably did better than at least one person in the class, and we got the job done. Now, is this the best way to tackle life? Probably not. But what I want to talk about today is just like, what if we could harness that raw focus and just like determination and willpower that procrastinators like you and me have when like push comes to shove, when something is due, when there's a deadline. Procrastinators will pull some shit out of their ass. They will do things that don't seem humanly possible. Like, what if you could harness the power of the PP, the procrastination power, and just achieve all of the goals that you want in life? Procrastinators, would you agree with me that if you could harness this power somehow and turn this procrastination power when you have like less than 24 hours to do something, that energy, that focus and everything, if you had that 24/7, like, we would probably be millionaires or something, right? Right? So many nights I would wake up at like 5 a.m. because I wanted to play Call of Duty all night. And I would wake up at 5 a.m. and do an assignment, do an essay, do some sort of project that was due the next day. And I would do it before I had to go to school. Thing is, we were able to pump out, what we needed to do, probably like the most base minimum effort, but we were able to do it. Now, if you combine procrastination with like a little bit of fine tuning and you work on it a little bit more, then that bare minimum effort and that C could easily turn into an A on whatever you're doing in life, whatever you need to do in life. But the thing with procrastinators is that we always wait for the last minute. For me, it was always because I never liked doing homework. I don't think anyone liked doing it, but some people would just do it. But me, I knew that I had to do it. There was a punishment if I didn't do it. Therefore, I would do it at the last minute and half-ass it. This is actually pretty comedic timing because my cat just took a fat shit. Usually, I would wait until it gets a little bit more full, but because it is a inconvenience to me, I am going to probably clean it up because I don't want to smell this while I'm filming this video. I think we have to understand why and what fuels procrastinators to, do the task that is needed. I feel like a lot of the times it's going to be like a punishment. If you don't do this, then at work, something bad will happen. You'll get yelled at, you'll get fired. At school, if you didn't do the assignment or you failed, then you get yelled at by your teacher, you get yelled at by your parents. But the thing is, once you're an adult, is there a punishment? There is a punishment, but I would say it's pretty delayed. And I'm not talking about like work or school things. I'm talking about habits and things that you procrastinate on, when you're actually an adult. Maybe you're a little bit overweight. And for me, maybe I'm a lot of bit overweight. But a lot of the times you don't feel these punishments immediately. They creep up slowly, and the procrastination isn't going to save you because there's no punishment. There's no immediate punishment. There's no like external force forcing you to work on yourself. At that point, it might just turn into discipline. And, a lot of the times it's like when I would procrastinate, it's because I always thought the assignment, whatever I needed to do, is too hard. It's going to take too long, too much time. I would rather just do what makes me happy right now, because not only do I not want to do this, there's like pretty much no reward. I just am doing what I'm being told to do. It's not fun. It's not rewarding. You're just doing it because you have to do it. But when you're an adult, you don't have to lose weight. You don't have to worry about your health. Sure, it matters in the long run, but there's no immediate, no punishment, anything like that. A lot of the times too, it would come from, not having a plan, or sometimes I would even create this whole plan on what I need to do, how I can do it, but you just don't start. Or maybe you start and you're surrounded by a million distractions. Like, you could do so many other fun things, like eat food. You can go on your phone, doom scroll. You can call someone, you can text someone. Any of these things is way more fun than the actual hard work. Whatever you're procrastinating, you should be doing, but why would you do that when you can just doom scroll? And eventually you get to this point where it becomes a habit. Procrastinating is all you know. you will always wait to the last minute to do something. Really, like, what if we could just harness this power and use it to our benefit? I think that one way of doing that is to break up a long goal into little mini goals. So say something will maybe take you a week. Maybe set a goal for yourself the first day and say, I want to do XYZ the first day. I want to do 10%. The next day, you'll do another 10%. You'll be at 20%. Maybe you can save the brunt of it for the end, but the thing is that you're starting, and once you get to the end, it's going to be a lot easier than doing it all within 3 hours, you know? I feel like just setting deadlines like that, even though there's no external pressure, is maybe how we can harness this. Maybe you have to come up with artificial punishments, things like that, but it's not so easy. It's easier said than done because, nothing's telling you that you have to do this punishment. But mix that with a little bit of discipline and keeping yourself accountable, I feel like you can harness the power of procrastination. Just think about it. If you weren't a procrastinator, how many things would be different in your life? For me, a lot would change because I probably wouldn't have procrastinated up until the point where I had to sell all my belongings to get a job. Therefore, I had no money. I probably wouldn't have gotten all this weight because it wasn't, in my eyes, a problem until now because I made it a problem and I want to change. But honestly, it was a problem since the first day I started eating fast food and stopped caring, door dashing 3 times a day. But I procrastinated until the last minute. If I just was like, hey, instead of eating fast food, why don't I get a sandwich? Something a little bit healthier, start off small, start off with mini goals, deadlines, and if I don't hit it, then maybe I have to go on maybe I have to run a mile. If I did that, then maybe I could have harnessed the power of procrastination because I don't want to run a mile. Maybe the punishment that I'm avoiding is to run a mile. So instead of eating fast food, I would rather eat the sandwich. If I kept myself accountable, then I would run a mile if I ate fast food. And from there, I would learn that I would not want to do it again. So maybe there's a way you can harness this procrastination. And I would love to hear what you guys think that are procrastinators, maybe anything that helped you guys out, because I am a natural procrastinator. The only thing that's been fueling this content journey for me is that I enjoy doing it. So it doesn't feel like I'm procrastinating because I'm not being forced to do something that I don't want to do. I feel like it only comes from a place of, you don't want to do it, and you'll feel all the time in between with things that'll bring you short bursts of dopamine and kind of make you forget about what the actual goal is. So I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about. What if you could harness the procrastination power of the PP? But yeah, we're down 17 pounds. And watch out for the video next month where it's going to be a cinema. I cold turkey everything, changed my life around. And yeah.